Hey hooligans! Now that we have our character set up and we have the hooligan mesh assigned to that character, and remember a character is something we're going to drop into the game. And in this case, it's not really a game. We're really just creating a scene and a simple template so that we can get our hooligan out on stage and we can start doing some cool stuff, and hopefully you'll realize how cool this is, that we have these FBX files and some of the things that we can ultimately do. But I want to keep it simple. So we have our blueprint of our character that we created. For that character to appear in the scene, we need a camera. Because if you go back and you take a look again at the stage and I hit play, we really don't have much out there, and that's okay, but we're going to get our hoolie out there. So how do we add a camera so that we can see our hooligan and change the angle of the camera and all of that from the front, from the back? It's how you create first person or third person views. We're going to create a camera that's looking straight at our hooligan as if our hoolie was on stage and they were going to be doing a dance or some announcement. So go back to the blueprints and go back to Hooli 1830, right? Double click and open up that hooligan. Open full blueprint editor and go to viewport. And that's another piece maybe I'll take just a second to describe. You have a couple of tabs up here. And the viewport is obviously the view of what you're seeing in this blueprint. The event graph is where you start to define actions and things that you want to take place, and we'll do that at a future video. But for now, we've got our hooligan, we've got the mesh assigned to our particular hooligan, but we have to add a camera. So if you go up to the top left and you click on this Hooli 1830 self, you can go ahead and add. And the first thing we're going to add is a spring arm. And a spring arm is like a camera boom, right? So it's something that you mount the camera onto. So think of it again, it's a boom and it maintains a fixed distance of the camera. But what we're going to do is add to the spring arm a camera. So you type in, and what I'm doing up here is these are all components that you can add to your blueprint. And on the left, you see this hierarchy or hierarchy of items. And so for now, it's pretty simple. We have our arrow going forward. We have the mesh, which is our hoolie. We now just added a spring arm and a camera. So what we want to do then with the camera is we want it to be facing right in front of our hoolie. So we're going to move it over, and then we're going to go ahead and do the rotate tool, and we're going to rotate this thing 180 degrees so that it's facing our hoolie. All right. So now, if you want to take a look at this, hit save, compile, and what you can do is shrink this up a little bit. I'm going to kind of make it a lot smaller there. In fact, let's move it up a little. I'll move content down, get it on there. I'm going to go ahead and drop in our scene. I'm going to drop in our hooligan. So let's drop it right there. There, it's in the scene. Oh, wrong. All right. I'm going to go ahead and drop in our hoolie character. That's what we're working on, not the mesh itself. And I'm going to drop him in right there. Now, what you see here, let me try and move this around a little bit to make this easier to understand. Because we just went ahead and took our hoolie blueprint, so our hoolie character. I went and dragged him in the scene there. And now within the blueprint, you see this camera is looking at our hoolie. And if I move the camera, in this case, I'll move it closer, further away. You can play around this a little bit. I think you'll get the gist. My goal here is not to make you a perfectionist, but to understand the concept that we put a camera in there. We went ahead and put our hoolie character out into our scene, and this is a nice way for us to take a look at what we're looking at here. So I kind of like this a little bit. I might move it up just a little wee bit, and then I might go ahead and put like a quick little, maybe like an angle down on it so we get a little there. So Anyway, lots you can do with that. Move it up again a little bit. Let's see, the blue, there we go. Save and compile. So now what we've got is in our Hooli blueprint, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go ahead and remove our Hooli from our scene. I'm going to make this bigger. What we have in our Hooli blueprint, we have our Hooli and we have a camera. So the camera, and so now if I go back to my content browser again and I look at content drawer, this is my blueprint class, right? So this is what we were just working on. We put a Hooli and a camera. If I go ahead and I drag that Hooli on, again, you see the camera is in front of our Hooli taking a look at, and I want this because what we want to do here is we want to create a way for us to sort of see. We're going to create some animations, we're going to put some textures on him and do all that. So you can kind of see what you would need to do to create this character and start to build out some of the functionality that you want to put in it. Now, if I hit play, actually let's go ahead and remove that from there. If I hit play, still no Hooli. That's okay. We're building out the character, and I'll show you in the next video how we can create a game mode and assign it to our character so that when we hit play and we launch into this first scene in this first stage, our Hooligan appears. So that's it for now.